Everyone, welcome to this channel. So today we are going to be discussing something very special, something fabulous, something that we've not done before on this channel. And that is the topic about, again, applying for jobs, career and all of the things around it. And guys, I have an interesting guest with me today and in the coming series, right? Please welcome Oladayo Bode Balogun. She's a sister, she's a friend, she's an expert in what she does, and she's so fabulous. So welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Bukola. It's great to be here with you, and I'm glad that we get to discuss these things. And just to start out, you are the experts. You're the human resource professional, and we'll be talking around application. What steps do I need to take when applying for a job?
Mm.
While I have personal experience, you have professional experience to offer. And so I'll be asking you, Bukola, would you share with us what practical steps you think that a person should take in trying to apply for a job? What's that preparation? What does it look like? What do you think is effective? What do you think is efficient?
Mm. Okay, thank you for that question. That question is very powerful and it's really important, especially for people, people who are starting to get into the job market. And it's not just for those people, not just for the class of 2001 or 2021 or 2020, but also for people who are trying to change careers or people who countries, people
Yeah.
who changed location or something like that. And also, for example, women who are currently at home and they're trying to get back into the workforce. So this is a question that is really important for so many people and it cuts across. And that dilemma of saying, where do I even start from? It's something that is real. It is really real. And most people get stuck at that phase because they don't even know where to start from. One of the things I would give as a tip, the first tip would be that, know what you want to achieve, like know what is the next goal for you, or what is the next career level is for you. So for example, someone that is a fresh graduate, the next career level would be something like getting into a graduate trainee program, right, or a management trainee program, because that's the first step for most big companies, most FTSE 100 companies, or most S&P global companies. That's the first thing they want you to do, to get into the graduate training programs or management training programs. And so, that is for those kind of people. For people who, for example, who are changing location, who migrated from one country to the other, you want to look at what are the easiest, what part of your current or of your of your current role is easily accessible to gain entrance into in your new country that you're moving to. So you have to determine that job role for yourself. Okay, for example, if you're into human resources way back in your home country and then you're trying to move into another country, and maybe the laws regarding labor employment is quite different. So you might not necessarily get an HR business partner role. Once you move, you might be looking at getting into, for example, recruitment, because recruitment, it's easier to get into compared to HR business partner, because as an HR business partner, you're also expected to have some level of exposure into employment laws, right? So, that's the first thing that I would say. The same thing applies to other business roles or other business segments or skill sets that you are into. The first thing is, again, determine which role you are looking for. What is the role I'm looking for? Once you're able to determine that, then you've crossed the first hurdle. The second hurdle will now be, looking at how do you prepare your curricula vitae or your resume. Don't assume that, okay, the same way, for example, especially for people who are moving countries, don't assume that the same way a curriculum vitae is in my old country is the same thing that would be available, that would be expected in the new country. Don't work on that assumption, right? It is really, really important. And that's because depending on the country, right? Some countries, they like that in your curriculum vitae, you have your picture, you have your street address on it and all of that, and specific information. Why in some countries they don't care. All they need is your name. They just want to know your name, your contact address in terms of your phone number or your email address, and then straight away into your executive summary or your professional summary, and then into roles that you've done before, and that's it. They don't really care, right? And even in some countries, they find some very specific details as against the labor law. So for example, I know that in the US, nobody wants you to, you don't necessarily have to put in your face on your resume or on your CV, but in Germany, you have to put your face on your CV. They want to see who is applying, right? So you have to be able to be conversant with what is attainable in that new place you're moving to. So that is another tip I would say. I don't know, should I continue or is that
Thank you so much. And just to summarize what you have said so far, it's to say that you have to ask yourself certain questions when you're trying to apply for a role.
Yeah.
Am I a graduate trainee? Do I have some experience, right? I'm a graduate trainee, then, or I'm a fresh graduate, then I should be looking for a graduate trainee role in an organization, right? And then I need to then find out what is the organization requesting for me? What do I need to do? Look out for organizations that are taking graduate trainees and put in my application. But then if I'm an experienced hire, right, then I need to start to look at how my role, what's the next available role, or what skill do I have that I bring to the table that I can readily, get a job with. And I like that you added the twist of the fact that if one is then in another country, right? So perhaps your experience was in Nigeria and now you're in Canada or so, right?
Yeah.
And you then have to get a job. You can't just bring the CV that you had from Nigeria and expect that it will automatically get you a job. You have to look around and find out what obtains in Canada, what obtains in Germany, what obtains in the UK, what obtains in the US. And then you have to adapt your CV, right, to that experience. And then speaking about roles, right, you can't say, oh, because I have done HR for so long in Nigeria, right, it means that I could just go and apply to be a human resource business partner in a country. You have to find ways to get into the system, right? You have to find what's my entry point. Maybe recruitment, right? For like what you have said, is something that can help me, maybe assistant people training or whatever, whatever it is. Find out what helps you get into the system, and then you can now start to build up the experience and the qualifications that you need to get to the desired role that you really want to, So basically, I mean, just to add to the things that you have said, right, is that the fact that in doing all of these things, you might also need to seek professional help or even personal help from people who have who are doing well in the industry or the country that you're trying to, get. So you can ask someone to help look at your CV. You can ask a professional to help write. There are professionals in different countries that help write CV. So they can help you put your CV right together in the way that you want it to be done. You can also, at the same time, speak to a friend in that country who is perhaps in the industry you are, perhaps financial services industry, perhaps medical industry, whatever it is, who could just also help you put things together. But at the end of the day, don't go blindly. Don't so that you just don't keep applying and never get anything done. Okay, so Bukola, the next thing I will be asking you is, now that we have started to discuss, around basic things I need to do to apply, right? Then what should, is there a way my CV, should I start to use the same CV? So if I have worked on my CV, right, and I have put it in the format of the country, like the basic things, maybe I have my picture now on my CV, I put my experience, I just, tailored it to suit, right? For every job I apply for, is there a need, to sort of work my CV?
Mm.
Not to tweak it and put in a lie, but is there a need to update my CV, to align my CV and my cover letter to align with, the job that I'm then applying for in every instance? Or should I just throw in my CV to the same, to every job? Is that okay? What should we do? Please tell us.
So thank you for that question. That question is really important. And before I go into the question, she said she mentioned about getting help. So of course you can also use me as your help. I offer that service, right? I help people to review their CV.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I help people to review their CV to make it top notch to the taste of people who you're going to be sitting across the table with, right? I will look at it from the professional perspective of a human resources person and also as an hiring manager perspective. I can help you do that. So if you're interested in that service, just drop me a note in the comment section. I'll pick it up and then we can work together on that. All right. Now to the question, the question was about, how do I present my CV? Should I just, use what I've always used, or should I use something else? Well, I would say that because now, especially for people who are moving countries, right? Because now you're moving into a new country, there are some, despite the fact that it's the same industry, right, or the same function that you're applying for, there are some nuances that would be obtainable in this new country. You want to be aware of them, you want to make research on them, and somehow craft your own CV according to that nuances. Now, it's not that you're lying, right? You're just trying to use the wordings that is used in the new country with your
Absolutely.
own, right? So the wordings that maybe you've been using before that is not obtainable in this new in the new country, you want to take them out and then recraft the ones that okay, that's it might be the same, the wordings might be the same thing, right? It might be saying the same thing about the same topic, but the difference is just that okay, the way it's being pronounced or the way it's written or something is different.
Correct.
You want to put it in that way because, for example, if they use an ATS, an applicant tracking system, and they just search for keywords, you want to
Correct.
make sure your CV is being flagged correctly, that you have your CV is being flagged correctly, that you have the skill set they are looking for. And that is why wording is really important when you are crafting CV. And these things you cannot necessarily get if you just use any machine or just use any
Absolutely.
platform. Rather, you get it when you speak to professionals, right? So it is really important that you craft your CV based on the country and also on the industry that you are looking at. Now, for people who are not necessarily moving, like who are in the same country, who are, who are looking for a career advancement in their country, but going to another level, or young graduates who are trying to get into the workforce. You want to make sure that again, it's about the wording, but then just make sure that the wording you're using is familiar to the people who would be who are actually who are making the search. Like I said, the recruiters or the talent acquisition people or the talent managers. They have some kind of things they use, they say, right? And how do you know that? You see it from the job description. What are they writing in the job description, right? So if they're calling for example, let's say they're calling their customer service person a customer delivery manager, and but you know that it's customer service, right? And you want a customer service role, but what they wrote in the title is customer delivery, and they keep saying customer delivery. Of course, if you find some touch points between the two,
Yeah.
then reward your CV such that it will reflect customer delivery specialist, right? So that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then, I know it could be cumbersome, or I know it could be tiring to always craft your CV according to the job that you want. But then result has shown, or research has shown that the more you craft your CV, target your CV towards a particular role, the
Mhm.
higher the chances for you to be flagged up and to be called up for an interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
just put in the work, right? It's better for you to just put in the work than just sending CVs
Abs-
relentlessly and then always getting a no. Rather, just maybe be convergent about what you're looking for. Put in
Right.
the right words, right? If they are looking for, if you're a tech, for example, if you're a software developer,
Yeah.
right? And in and then maybe you see a software engineer,
Yeah.
and when you look at the things that's written on that job description,
Yeah.
the roles, the responsibilities and the profile
Yeah.
fits what you're looking for. It is what
Correct.
you've done. It is what you're familiar with.
Yeah.
But then you are more, when you looked at your own CV, you had software developer. Meanwhile, the job is saying software engineer.
Yeah.
You want to recraft your CV to
Yes.
reflect you as a software
Exactly.
engineer and not
Ex-
just a software developer,
Correct. Correct.
right? So
Yeah.
again, it's simply you being, being smart about it.
Mm.
Again, do not
Yeah.
be truthful, but craft it in such a way that you're able to defend whatever you have on your CV. So that is what I would say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bukola. And guys, Bukola nails this on the point, right? Because at the end of the day, you know that especially in more developed countries, right? The way that the hiring managers search for who they decide, which application they decide to go forward with, is that they have a software that just runs through all of the applications for them and picks keywords. And that's what Bukola has just told us. If those keywords are not coming up, they're going to assume that your CV does not fall into the category, even though you have the experience, even though you have a similar background, even though you are more experienced than even those who have been considered. As long as the keywords are not coming up, they're not going to get a chance to even look at your CV, right? And so it says a lot about just giving yourself a chance. And Bukola has cited a few examples, and I can add a few more. In some countries, customers are called customers. In some countries, they are called clients, right? So if you're applying for a customer service manager and client service manager, it's exactly the same thing in many instances. However, just those two names, right? Could so we're not saying change your job title. Whatever your job title is with your organization, retain it. But in the course of writing your experience, it's important to reword it such that if your experience says client service manager, right, and the role says customer service, then you might want to reword to ensure that you would have said, oh, we deliver service to customers, right? Those are things that are key.
Yeah.
In some countries, relationship managers are called client executives,
Hmm.
client executive manager or client account manager. So you want to ensure that you just don't say, oh, well, relationship management this role. You have to ensure that you put it in such a way. And that's why, we're saying that if you ever need a professional to help you, I mean, Bukola is someone I recommend, to help take you through the process. She's helped me in times past, and I recommend that, you reach out to her to help you guide and put you through all of those things, right? It's better to do the work and be considered because that's what gives you a foot in the door.
Yeah.
If you apply, if you're experienced and you never get an interview, I mean, what's that? What's all the experience for, right? Well, so as we begin to round up the session,
Mhm.
it's been interesting. I have learned a lot, and I am sure you guys have also learned so much. Bukola, what is the final thing that you want to tell us around applications? What's that? What are those final words? And of course, we're coming back in other sessions, right? We still have subsequent sessions where we will then be discussing how to prepare for interviews, right? How to what to do at interviews, and then what to do um, preparing for resumption. Hopefully, you get the job right. So tell us last words on applying on application generally.
So, so my last word on that particular on this particular topic would be, the world is for you to take on, right? But then how you make use of it is really important. And that
Mm,
was why the first tip I gave was, what exactly do you want? If you know what you want, you
yeah,
are able to prepare yourself in a convergent way, in a very focused way to get what you want. If you don't understand what you want and you start, right? You will be frustrated because you just be applying blindly. You'll be seeing
Yeah.
things that looks like what you want, and then you apply, and then at the end of the day, you won't get the results that you want.
Mm.
So if you're not taking anything from today's session,
Yeah.
please take this. Know what you want, know the kind of job you want. And I also made a video about how to apply for a job that you want.
Yeah.
The video link is here. Just click on it, and then again, know what you want and go for it. And then don't forget the other tips we already shared, like saying be mindful of your wording, know what the CV format is like in your new country, and some other things. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us in this session. we are
Thank
go- we are going to see you in another video in the next session soon. Don't go away, stay on this channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.